The average person is said to spend 15 minutes in the bathroom. Why not take advantage of that time and learn something new? Presenting the 15-minute podcast on weird facts, crazy details, and funny particulars that you'll be able to enjoy while you're taking a on your free time. Welcome to This Shit with Sam Butler. Welcome to This Shit podcast. This podcast is also heard in Spanish as Está Cagado, but today we're doing it in English. So welcome. We have a very good show for you guys today. It's a 15-minute show. We want to do it in English and Spanish, so here it is. Here's our English version. And for this particular podcast episode, I have a very special friend of mine. He was a guest columnist on Pornhub. He was also a webcam model. And back when he was a teenager, he dabbled in hacking. He went by the handle at Kitty Commando. But he's here with us today. Big round of applause at home, of course, for my friend Nick Farrell. Nick Farrell,
Thank
welcome.
you for having me on.
Hey, man. So what's up, dude? You're also a stand-up comedian. You do that too?
Yes.
How's this
I like how you thought of me of the Pornhub columnist before.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing virtual comedy right now, so I don't know if you're a stand-up comedian or not, you know.
It's based off of how good your career went. So that's why we bring up webcam model beforehand.
Yeah, webcam model, guest columnist for Pornhub. That's a pretty good writing credit right there. What were you talking about?
That is my only writing credit.
I don't think anybody read it.
Wait.
You know, I don't think you're getting on Pornhub and reading. I don't know. I haven't done that ever.
That is the only writing credit I have. I stand by my writing credit. I am proud of that. We discuss nature.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess it is kind of natural, or animals.
It's the birds and the bees. It's like a Nat Geo.
That's cool. Well, we do have a very interesting podcast today. It has to do with something I think you might be pretty familiar with. There's actually a hacker that goes by the handle Watchula Ghost. Have you ever heard of that guy?
I have not.
Okay. So the Watchula Ghost, he hacked over 500 Twitter accounts that belong to ISIS.
Okay.
Right? And so what he did is he would hack into these ISIS Twitter accounts, and then he would saturate them with porn. Right? And then that way he would embarrass the terrorist with pornographic content on their Twitter page.
Or increase their following.
Well, I think he probably did. You know what? I don't think they were embarrassed. They're like pretty big into porn. Did you know that? ISIS.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I was actually watching a movie. I don't know if this is legit or not legit, but I was watching a movie that came out on Netflix the other day. I was driving back from a gig in Phoenix. And
watching while you were driving.
Watching while I was driving.
Okay.
You know how that goes.
Check.
Yeah. I was listening to a movie as I was driving back from Phoenix. Let me put it to you that way.
Okay.
All right.
For law enforcement that's listening.
Yeah, I was listening to a movie. And the premise in this movie, the FBI gets a hold of the dude that started the whole internet porn craze. And he says, hey, we need your help. Your government needs your help. We noticed that when a certain porn star gets on live, the ISIS terrorist guy will get on live and watch. And then he's contacting all his terrorist buddies, and they're all sharing this, and they're all logging on at the same time. So we need you to log on at a certain hour so that we can see where they are. And then as they start calling each other, they start logging on. And with those IP addresses, we're able to bomb them exactly where they're at.
That is hilarious.
No, but that's how. And this guy was like a hero. I mean, this was a movie that just came out on Netflix. This guy was a hero because he was using porn to track these guys down,
so that terrorists can, have an explosion. Well, all together.
Yeah, he was climaxing, all right. He was hitting his climax there. So that's what this guy was doing, is he was actually having this particular porn star go online at a certain time, and then
who is this porn star?
I don't know.
You want to avoid the name? Does she have a huge nose? Is that what?
I don't know who it was.
She's Muslim, but kind of looks Jewish with the nose.
No, it wasn't the Mia Khalifa. No, this was back. This was back in the 2000s, like right when internet porn, right after 9/11, right when internet porn
scrambled
was a thing.
porn.
Age, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was like when the internet porn just started.
Okay.
Right, it was right before the child porn, because this whole movie's about how the internet porn started, and then how they got in trouble for the child porn.
So this is back when internet porn sites were actually harmful. as opposed to today where there's more security behind porn sites than there is on Facebook?
Well, it was back in the 2000s, bro. My generation, we used to have to sneak to the Circle K and then beg the guy to sell us one magazine, and then we'd take it back, and hide it somewhere our parents couldn't find it. That was my generation. But this was when that generation switched from actually buying magazines to actually being able to log on. Maybe the dial-up age. I don't know.
Back then, when I joined when I looked for any kind of porn on a porn website, I ended up with just spam pop-ups all day, right? And now today, there's more security measures behind Pornhub than there is on my bank.
Yeah. And
I have to do
we're going to talk about
biometric authentication to get into fucking Pornhub and shit.
We're going to talk about that kind of stuff a little bit. We're just going to dabble in it a little bit. It's a 15-minute podcast. Okay. This is designed for people to enjoy on their spare time or when they're sitting on the can.
Okay.
This is what this is for. But this hacker, Watchula Ghost, he's actually a pretty famous hacker because he hacked over 500 ISIS Twitter accounts. But what happened with him is after the shooting at the gay club in Orlando.
Okay. Pulse nightclub, yeah.
Yeah, Pulse nightclub. He really got upset about what went down, and he decided to stop putting porn necessarily on these guys' Twitter page, and he started doing gay pride messages. So he was like, "Hello world, here I am. I'm gay and I'm proud." He would put that stuff up. He changed their ISIS flags from ISIS flags to actual gay pride flags.
See, that's kind of weird to me. So he went from porn to gay motivational messages, but nobody made the connection of, hey, porn, gay.
Well, not necessarily. Well, he actually kind of got away from all that, and he actually put pictures of loving couples hugging each other and stuff. It was more G-rated.
Okay.
But it was gay, in which we know
kid-friendly.
Yeah, and we know that the ISIS guys are against that kind of stuff.
And they also have children, so you have to keep things G-rated, right?
Well, they're trying to recruit children. They need bombers. They need people to
promotional videos.
Yeah, they need people to. Yeah, that's
very bright colors. Maybe Captain Crunch with a little fucking ISIS flag in the back. I think that would be adorable.
That's what they were doing. They were finding out that through this Twitter is how they were recruiting a large amount of people, because they could put all their propaganda out there and they'd go kind of unchecked. So the Watchula Ghost guy, by the way, I Googled Watchula. I didn't know what Watchula was. I was like, that sounds
Spanish,
that sounds like Cholula. I'm
getting number 10 on the Taco Bell menu.
I'm getting kind of hungry right now. No, but the Watchula Ghost actually, and it's spelled like W-U, so it's like Watchula. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a town in Florida. So Watchula, really? Florida. So a Florida man is ISIS's worst nightmare. That's what's ironic.
Florida man is everywhere.
Yeah, Florida man is everywhere.
He's fighting alligators and fighting ISIS at the same time. It's a very busy day for Florida man.
Yeah, but what he said is that he felt that someone had to fight for those people that died at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando.
Agreed.
And this was his way of fighting back for them. And
because unlike the police departments, he's not doesn't have laws that tell him what he can and can't do.
Yeah, that's right. So. I mean, he's doing this online, and he really criticized Twitter for allowing these pages to even be up. Mm-hmm. And since he started doing this, Twitter has actually gotten really good about tracking it down. He was saying that if there is a page that goes up, they don't have time to build the numbers on the page the way they used to. And then Twitter has disabled, here, I'll read it here. It says that Twitter has disabled something like 150,000 pages.
150,000.
Twitter pages for terrorist or jihadist propaganda, ISIS propaganda.
Which is weird. So I did an essay on, and I don't know why I did a college essay on the social media tactics of ISIS, but it was kind of weird.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about because I did the research for this. So, let me guess. They use the same format as in filming the propaganda films as they would use to film smut or porn. Right?
No,
that was another article. I mean, we really don't have a lot of time to go into that, but it was pretty interesting. It's like,
so they use kind of the same, because I was kind of wondering, because Al Qaeda, you didn't see the rise in American terrorists joining Al Qaeda, but then ISIS comes along, and all of a sudden you get all these sympathizers from different countries. So I was kind of wondering what kind of media tactics they were using, and it turns out that if you follow some of those ISIS members thing. They're following the same media tactics as like the U.S. Army.
Oh, I
so
see.
like one guy was like, "Hey, going on a run with my squad or whatever."
Yeah.
The thing is, and it looks like they're just doing exercise. Like I was like, "Oh, that looks great." I mean, do I have to talk to a recruiter or
They're like, hey, join up an army of no one.
Yeah.
After you're done blowing yourself up.
It's an army of one. After you do your mission, it's an army of zero.
Yeah, hey, 72 virgins. That's pretty attractive.
But guys can be virgins too.
Yeah,
Virgins
That's true.
isn't a girl thing.
And
Like,
the other thing is, there's a reason they're still virgins.
I just picture like 72 virgins. This dude dies, goes up to heaven, and it's like an anime convention. Just all these people with Dragon Ball Z shirts, which I'm sorry to the Dragon Ball Z community.
You just like alienated yourself from like 50% of all the gigs you get.
This
Right
show
there.
does not reflect the opinions of Nick Farrell comedy. So
Yeah, but so the Watchula Ghost is actively fighting these guys. He's doing it through the internet. He's doing it with gay pride messages. So he's not being disrespectful to the gay community. He's actually fighting for the gay community and they don't have rights in these countries, so it's one of those things where it's his way of getting back at him, and he's pulled away from doing the porn at all, period, because he felt that this was like, I guess if there's a higher road in how to do this would be the higher road. So this is what this guy is doing, and that's pretty impressive. On a side note, this is also and I found this article. Let me see if I can read. Okay, here it is. Watchula Ghost, who said he's received death threats from ISIS members, identifies as a part of the hacking collective Anonymous. He was previously part of a hacktivist group called Ghost Security Group, which made up of former counterintelligence officials and computer specialists, but split off from the group in November 2016.
did they call themselves Counter Security or Ghost Security Group, or
Yeah,
was it like Ghost Sec?
could be. I mean, you
Because usually with a hacker group, you just end it, it's sec, and then
Sec.
it makes
Well,
it
it's probably
cool.
Ghost Sec.
If you add security, it just sounds like a business.
Yeah, well, these guys were all counterintelligence, former government official guys.
Okay.
So these guys probably didn't get in trouble because they probably work for the government at the same time they're doing this, And so I know that hacking is a big deal, and these guys are hacking for justice. So thanks to you guys. I mean, we really appreciate that part of it,
And that's kind of like the interesting thing. So when computers came out, now you gave some dude sitting in his underwear in his living room the ability to fight terrorism
Oh, I know.
without putting on pants.
Think about the guys that fly the drones.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know that there's a whole other side to that. I mean, there's like the guilt and all that kind of stuff of not being out in the front lines, but being in war. That'd be a different topic to talk about. But it's amazing, But side note to this, he also was the guy who sent the White House a message telling them that Donald Trump had to upgrade his Twitter security password. That his and the first ladies and the vice presidents, because apparently they didn't have the security that they needed to be on Twitter, and he didn't want to. I guess he was a government official or Trump's
like a white hat kind of.
Yeah. So he didn't want to hack the president's deal, but he did let him know. For example, he said the way that they would normally do it, or the way that what I read in the article, what I understood, was that they would go into the Twitter, request a new password, and if you didn't have your phone number associated to it, then they would send you a password
to your email.
And he says, but then you could kind of search emails for a certain person somehow, and you'd get an encrypted email, like where you get the first letter and then a bunch of little stars and then a Gmail.
Yeah.
Well, the one that vice president,
Was it a government email?
Yeah, it was a government.
Or was it Hillary's email?
No,
server?
it was the vice. Yeah. We don't want to bring that up right now. Yeah. But like
a different topic.
Like for example, Mike Pence's email was V and then a bunch of stars and then at whatever gmail.com or whatever it was.
Was it a bunch of stars or did they just blank it out?
It was blanked out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is like that's what he would get back as a on his search. He would just get like the first letter and a bunch of little stars and then a Gmail. But then he was able to guess that it was Vice President 2017 at gmail.com. Pretty easy. And then once you have that,
which is a weird email because if you don't get elected, now it's kind of a moot topic.
2017 is pretty easy to know you still be in office to get elected in 2016.
Well, it's true.
But he was able to then. You're able to then go through there. So he's saying, hey, very basic security feature. Make sure that you put your phone number on there as a security deal.
Multi-factor authentication.
Yeah. And so, well, see, that's why I have you on this particular episode of The Shit Podcast. Well, let's summarize this up. In summary, don't be a member of ISIS. If you are a member of ISIS, don't have a Twitter account.
And don't go to porn.
Yeah. And remember, don't go to porn. They're going to find you. And remember, add your phone number if you do have a Twitter account. That's it for today's podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Our guest today was Nick Farrell. Nick, how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kitty Commando. It's exactly how it's spelled. And you can also follow me at Nick Farrell Comedy on Facebook.
All right. And I'm Sam Butler. You can find me at Está Cagado Podcast on Instagram. And if you don't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. You can kind of find a link. Está Cagado Podcast. And that's on Instagram, Tu Amigo Sam on Facebook, and all my other platforms. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been another episode of The Shit Podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being here.